A responsible boat operator will always take time before casting off to talk with passengers regarding safety. Avoid stepping into the boat with your hands full. Hand supplies to a person already in the boat, or if by yourself, get into the boat first, then retrieve the items from the dock. Store all unnecessary items out of the way of the operator and passengers. Start the engines and test mechanical and electrical equipment. Note engine gauges for proper operating range. Check the speed and direction of wind and current, and have all lines and fenders ready for use. Explain the necessity of knowing the location of safety gear and what actions to take if an emergency happens. At a minimum, cover the items listed in a pre-departure checklist. Now that we've covered what you need to know before getting out on the water, let's next talk about docking and undocking techniques. The wind direction will play a significant part in how you maneuver your boat out of the slip and into open water. Know the status of the current or tide. The movement of the tide will move your boat, and you'll have to compensate for this movement. Typically, a good push will move a smaller boat away from the dock. If the wind is blowing enough to hold you to the dock, have the bow line looped around a dock cleat as you motor the stern out. Once clear, bring in the bow line and slowly back out. Before docking, communicate with passengers your intentions to dock. Assign tasks to passengers depending on their skill level. Passengers not assisting should remain seated. Prepare the lines and fenders. Test the engine's reverse gear. Note the current and wind direction, and approach the dock accordingly. Approaching too fast is a common mistake. Go slow and use engines only when necessary to overcome the effects of wind and current. Some boat operators will always use the bow line to hold the boat. Once the bow line is secure, the operator shifts into reverse and turns the helm so the stern eases toward the landing. Let people on the dock help moor the boat. One of the often overlooked tasks of boating is knowing how to anchor. The purpose for anchoring your boat is to hold your boat in a given position on the water. The first word of caution is to never anchor from the stern. The bow of your boat is designed to break through waves, not the flat stern. To the anchor line, add about 3 to 5 feet of good, heavy chain between the anchor and the line. This added weight allows the anchor to settle quickly and helps the anchor hold on to the bottom. When anchoring in areas of swift or moving water, tidal influence, or when the wind is blowing, you need a minimum of 7 times the amount of line as the depth of the water you will anchor in. For calm water anchoring, with little or no wind effect, less scope is required. Here are the procedures for anchoring. Know the depth of the water. Consult a chart if available. Move forward, either upstream or into the direction of the tide or wind, and drop anchor, allowing the line to pay out until it hits bottom. Pay out the additional amount of line needed to achieve proper scope. The line may automatically pay out as the boat drifts, and precautions need to be taken to ensure the line pays out smoothly and doesn't become entangled around a person or object on the boat. If needed, slowly back up until the anchor holds. A taut line generally will be at a 45-degree angle to the bow and is a good indication that the anchor has set. Secure the line to your bow cleat with a round turn and adequate cleat hitches. Coil the remaining line and store it properly. Observe your position on the water in relation to shore structures and periodically check this position to ensure you are not moving. Movement indicates the anchor has let go. Once you're ready to get underway again, you will need to weigh anchor. Weighing anchor is accomplished by moving the boat forward in the direction of the anchor line and at the same time having a helper bring in the slack line. Once the line is tending straight up and down, pull firmly on the line to break free the anchor from the bottom. Once away, slowly raise the anchor. When you see the chain, hold the anchor line out away from the hull to prevent the chain or anchor from causing hull damage. If there is mud, raise and lower the anchor into the water to wash it away. Store the anchor and line in a secure area. When you return to the dock or home, dry out the line. Always consult a chart when boating. They are the mariner's road map to the water. You wouldn't drive a car in an unfamiliar area without a map. so don't go boating without a chart. Even if you have a current chart, it's always a good idea to ask about local conditions before casting off. You will want to identify local hazards such as low-head dams, rapids, overhead cables, bridges, or heavy boating traffic in certain areas. Another source is the Coast Guard publication Local Notice to Mariners, which lists construction hazards, off-station buoys, homeland security updates, and other important local information. The mariner who uses charts and learns of local hazards will be a safer, more knowledgeable boat operator. Aids to navigation can provide a boater with much of the same type of information drivers get from street signs, stop signals, road barriers, detours, and traffic lights. Here are some general safety tips regarding buoys. Unless the appropriate chart is consulted, a boater may not know the meaning of a buoy. Never pass too close to a buoy, and never rely solely on a single aid to determine position, as buoys may shift from charted positions. The waters of the United States and its territories are marked to assist navigation by the U.S. Aids to Navigation System. This system employs a simple arrangement of colors, shapes, numbers, and lighting characteristics to mark navigable channels, waterways, and obstructions adjacent to these. Aids may be anything from lighted structures, beacons, day markers, and range lights to floating buoys. Each aid has a purpose for determining location, getting from one place to another, or avoiding danger. Charts show the coastline, buoys and beacons, depths of water, bridge heights, land features, directional information, marine hazards, and other pertinent information. Beacons are aids to navigation structures that are permanently fixed to the Earth's surface. They range from lighthouses to small, single-pile structures and may be located on land or in the water. Buoys are moored to the seabed by concrete sinkers with chain or synthetic rope moorings of various lengths connected to the buoy body. They are floating aids that come in many shapes and sizes. Buoys convey information to the boater by their shape or color, by the characteristics of a visible or audible signal, or a combination of two or more such features. It's illegal to interfere with or damage aids to navigation, and this includes tying your boat to a navigation aid. Major waters of the United States are marked for safe navigation by the Lateral system of buoys. The Lateral system consists of a simple arrangement of colors, shapes, numbers, and light characteristics to show the side on which a buoy should be passed when proceeding in a given direction. The expression "red right returning" has long been used by the mariner as a reminder that the red buoys are kept to the boater's starboard or right side when proceeding from the open sea into port, in the upstream direction. Green buoys are kept to the port or left side. Red buoys are even-numbered and green buoys are odd-numbered. Buoys aren't always in pairs of red and green. Sometimes just one buoy may be placed to guide the boater. Always consult a chart to determine buoy location and to help chart a safe course. Most waterways used by boaters are located entirely within the boundaries of the state. The Uniform State Waterway Marking System has been devised for these waters. The Waterway Marking System employs buoys and signs with distinctive standard shapes to show regulatory or advisory information. These markers, whether a buoy or a sign, are white with black letters and have orange borders at the top and bottom of the buoy or beacon. They signify speed zones, restricted areas, danger areas, and general information. Not obeying the regulatory information posted on the markers can easily result in being issued a summons. Always obey the information posted on buoys and signs. Some typical regulatory marks include boat exclusion areas, noted by a crossed diamond marking. An explanation may be placed outside the crossed diamond shape, such as dam, rapids, or swim area. The diamond shape represents danger. The nature of the danger may be indicated inside the diamond shape, such as rock, wreck, shoal, or dam. Heed the warnings of a danger buoy. Controlled areas are noted by a circle and indicate areas such as slow, no wake, anchoring areas, or speed limits. Information signs in buoys are rectangular and are used to display information such as directions, distances, and locations. Mooring buoys are white with a blue horizontal band. This distinctive color scheme is used to facilitate identification and to avoid confusion with aids to navigation. The Intracoastal Waterway, or as it's commonly called, the ICW. The ICW runs parallel to the Atlantic and Gulf coasts. It starts in New Jersey and continues to the Mexican border. When following the ICW in a direction from New Jersey to Texas, keep yellow triangles on your starboard and yellow squares on your port, regardless of the color navigation aid they appear on. The Western Rivers marking system is a variation of the standard U.S. Aids to Navigation system and is found on the Mississippi River and tributaries. Red day beacons, lights, and buoys mark the starboard banks and limits of channels as vessels return from sea or proceed upstream. Green day beacons, lights, and buoys mark the port banks and channels while going upstream. When traveling downstream, the banks are named right and left. The right bank has green aids and the left bank has red aids. Thus, the west bank of the Mississippi is its right bank, and it has green aids. To avoid confusion, commercial river traffic often calls the right bank the right descending bank, and the left bank the left descending bank. Expressed in this way, there's no room for doubt. Mile markers are some of the most useful aids on a river. They are attached to day beacons or displayed in other easily seen places and help a vessel operator locate his or her position on a river chart.